How's it going, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite TV shows of 2018, the best, in my opinion, TV shows of this year. But first, remember, if you guys are new, make sure to check out my social media and vlogging channel down in the description below. And without further ado, let's get into this. So at number 10, I have Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, which came out this summer. It was a pretty decent season overall. I definitely think the beginning was a lot stronger than the second half, mainly because I really was liking the idea of the first half, and all the characters were really interesting, and what they were doing with them I really enjoyed. And then they killed certain characters off. I don't want to spoil anything here for you guys, just because I don't feel like spoiling in this video, but yeah. They killed certain people off, and I was kind of annoyed by it. And then going into the second half of this season, it definitely just kind of felt more dry and not as unique as the first half, and it got very boring throughout. But nonetheless, I think it was still a pretty strong season for Fear the Walking Dead. My number 9 pick is Quantico Season 3. Now, overall, I thought this was a pretty decent season. It was its final season, and you know, I actually like how it turned out in the end. It was an okay ending, and I thought for its final season, it was as best as it was going to get, and I think it definitely deserved to be on the list, just mainly because, yeah, it was its final season, and I do like this show. I thought this season was a major improvement from Season 2, and I don't think it was as good as Season 1, but it was still a pretty great season. At number 8, I have Krypton. This is the only DC show on the list, believe it or not, because I thought the other CW shows just don't deserve to be on this list at all. But Krypton, however, you know, at first I wasn't really feeling it, but then it got, more, crazier by each episode, and then General Zod showed up, which I guess is kind of a spoiler. I said I wasn't going to spoil anything, but okay. General Zod shows up, and then Brainiac was pretty epic in this show, and I really enjoyed his character, and then also the little Doomsday tease at the end. It got really crazy, and I started to really, really enjoy the show, and yeah, it's definitely one of the better shows I've seen this year. At number 7, I have Killing Eve, which was a BBC show, and I'm sure not too many people heard of it, but it's with Sandra Oh, and yeah, it was like only 8 episodes long. It was pretty short for its first season anyway, but I really enjoyed it, man. I thought the end result was pretty interesting. It did kind of leave it open-ended to have a season 2, I suppose, but overall, I thought the acting was great. I thought the story was pretty interesting, and I really enjoyed, I kind of forgot her name, actually, but the psychopath's name, I forgot her name, I'm stupid, but yeah, it was a really good plot, I think, for the first season, and it was just enjoyable, so that's why I think it deserves definitely a spot here on the list. At number 6, I have A Series of Unfortunate Events Season 2. I really, really liked this show. I thought the first season was okay, and then the beginning of Season 2, this season, I was kind of not really feeling it at all, to be honest. The first 4 episodes, anyway. And then it got really, really good, and then I started to get really into it, and looking back on this season as a whole, I really, really enjoy it. The characters were good. The story was a lot better, I'd say, from the first season. And it just got, the plot advanced with the Baudelaire's parents and whatnot, and all the mysteries that were kind of coming to a head. And that's why I really just enjoyed this season, because it kind of dove deeper into this world that was started off in the first season, but it just really advanced this season, and that's why I like this season definitely a lot more than Season 1. But yeah, I don't know, I really like this season, and I'm kind of actually a bit surprised that it made it this high on the list, but hey, I don't know what to tell you. It was a good show. I highly recommend it. Obviously watch the first season first, but yeah, man, this was a very, very enjoyable second season. At number 5, I have Cloak and Dagger on Freeform, and this is one of the first Marvel shows on the list that has showed up thus far, and I really liked this show. It was a bit of a surprise. I kind of was really intrigued at the first start because, yeah, like I knew it was a Marvel show, but it didn't really give me Marvel vibes, and it was very unique from anything else Marvel related I've seen in the past. And then as the story, kept going, and through this season, I started to enjoy it a lot more. And there was a couple episodes that were actually pretty emotional and, like, surprisingly. And I think this season was definitely, like, I'd say one of the biggest shocks of this year for me for TV. Maybe not the biggest shock or whatever, but it was still, like, really just surprising, this coming from a freeform show. It wasn't perfect, but it definitely deserves a spot on the list. I don't know. I didn't know too much about these characters when I started the show, and by the end, I was very interested with Cloak and Dagger as superheroes. So I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So I don't know. It was pretty neat. Okay, number 4 is Big Brother Season 20. Now, I know a lot of you probably have no idea what the hell this show even is, but listen, it's a reality TV show. A bunch of people go inside this house and play a game. It's more of a social experiment, really, and there's some crazy-ass people. It's so fucking hilarious sometimes, but it's also just so, like, dramatic but stupid at the same time. It's just a fun show. And this season was just crazy. 20 seasons of a show. That's absolutely nuts. It's been going on since like 2000. I know that doesn't make sense because it's 2018 and there's 20 seasons. Yeah, there's multiple seasons, sometimes a year they've done. But mostly it's only once a year. Sometimes they do winter edition. But this was, the 20th season, and it was just so great. I don't really know how much else to talk about it. I don't know. It's just, if you want to have a good time with TV, just watch this. It's just so funny. I don't know. I don't know, man. I know. It's just, it's got to be on the list. I'm sorry. At number 3, I have Better Call Saul Season 4. Man, this season was amazing. I think it's probably the best one yet. I'm not entirely sure, though, but it was really, really good. I mean, from the opening minutes of Episode 1 to the end of Episode 10, it was just a journey all the way through. And I really love Better Call Saul. Like, at first I wasn't really enjoying it that much, but now, like, that I've rewatched Breaking Bad a couple times now, and then looking at the show, I found a new love for the show all over again. And Season 3 really just kind of got me back into it, so I was looking forward to Season 4, and yeah, I really liked this season. I was looking forward to every episode, and I thought all the stories were interesting. We're getting closer to Breaking Bad's timeline, I guess you would say, and it just gets me really excited for what's to come in Season 5. And yeah, if you haven't seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad's my second favorite show of all time, after Walking Dead, of course, and Breaking Bad, or Better Call Saul, is definitely now one of my favorite shows, and it's definitely one of my favorite shows of this year, for sure, and it's great. At number 2, I have The Walking Dead, Season 9 in particular. Yes, the second half of Season 8 was also released this year, at the beginning of this year, obviously, but I'm strictly talking about Season 9 because Season 9 was definitely great, and it was a great refresher for the series. It was kind of dying, not gonna lie, but then it really did pick itself up a lot in this season, and overall, I'd say it's a pretty strong season. From the first episode, everything they did with Rick's final episode, it was just crazy, like, what they were doing, and new world, this new society, a new beginning. It really just revamped the entire series, and I think that's just really what it needed. The Walking Dead needed a bit of a soft reboot for it, and they did its justice, really, and it's great. And then even after Rick's departure, it still carried on to be a good series. I thought episode 6 was really good, and the introduction of the Whisperers and all that made me really excited for what's to come in the second half of Season 9. So yeah, The Walking Dead Season 9's first half is really, really great. And I almost want to put it number 1 just because it's Walking Dead, but to be honest, guys, I'm kind of getting in my number 1. My number 1 spot deserved it more, and you'll see what it is. But yeah, Walking Dead Season 9's first half was incredible, and I think any Walking Dead fan can agree with me. It was awesome. But of course, at number 1 is Daredevil Season 3, and especially the news that just happened, and that's passed a couple days, about its cancellation for the series. I needed to put this one at number 1. And Daredevil Daredevil season 3, sorry, definitely deserves it. It's a masterpiece, really. It's the best show I've seen this year, and the best show I've seen, one of the best shows I've seen ever. And it's a great season. It's the best Marvel Netflix season, the best season of TV I've seen this year, as I've already said. The characters, I'm not gonna make this a love letter because so many great things have already been said about this season. But from the villain Fisk, to Matt, to Foggy, to Karen, to Bullseye, Poindexter, Ray, even. All these characters were so great. The story was so interesting. It was so intense. Every episode. Well, actually, I thought it took a little while to get started, but after that, once it started to get rolling, it was crazy. And this season is just a masterpiece. Really, I mean, that's all I can say. It's great. And it's really sad that it got canceled. Really sad. But at least we still have this season to look back on as being the best show of 2019. Well, there you guys go. Those are my top 10 favorite TV shows of 2018. Let me hear your favorites/bests down in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.